Hello, what's up? Kumusta na kayo mga guys? So ito nga pala ulit ang inyong gwapong teacher, Hever Samson. So for this video, we are going to discuss the variance and standard deviation of a discrete random variable. So sa video na ito, tuturuan ko kayo kung paano mag-solve ng variance at ng standard deviation. At the same time, you will also be learning how to interpret the data. So I'll be giving you some situations later after kung i-discuss yung variance and the standard deviation. I'll be giving the formula. After that, let's have some examples. The variance of a random variable x is denoted by this symbol. So nakikita niyo yan. The variance of a random variable is the expected value of the square of the difference between the assumed value of a random variable and the mean. The variance of x is, so we have this formula. So the variance is equal to the summation of the quantity x minus mu squared multiplied by p of x. So where yung x natin, itong x na to is the outcome. Yan yung outcome. Yung mu na to, yan yung tinatawag nating population mean. And the p of x is the probability of the outcome. So later on, mas maiintindihan ninyo at mas matututunan ninyo kung ano ba itong mga sinasabi na to. Ano ba yung outcome na yan, population mean na yan, and then the probability of the outcome. So now, let's proceed with the standard deviation. So now, let's proceed with the standard deviation. So, it is easier to interpret the value of the standard deviation. Mas madali natin i-interpret yung value ng standard deviation simply because they are the same unit. It has the same unit with the measure of x. So the standard deviation of a discrete random variable x is written as this symbol. It is the square root. It is the square root of the variance. The standard deviation is computed as this. So we have the standard deviation is equal to the square root of the summation of the quantity of x minus mu squared multiplied by p of x. So this is easier to solve kasi nga once na meron na tayong variance, kuhanin nyo lang yung square root niya, yun na yung standard deviation natin. So ulitin ko lang, once na meron na kayong variance, once na nakuha nyo na yung variance, kuhanin nyo lang yung square root niya, that will be your standard deviation. So I'll be giving you some examples before we proceed with some situational problems. So now let's have some examples. So for example number one, determine the variance and the standard deviation of the following. So we will be determining the variance and the standard deviation given itong mga set of data na to. So the x values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. P of x, remember that P of x is the probability. So we have 0.15, 0.25, 0.30, 0.15, 0.10, 0.05. So the problem is that the first thing kasi is to construct a table. Hindi wala ito. So pag nakahiwala ito, ang gagawin niyo is to put this in this table, so xp of x, and then remember that kailangan natin sa formula yung mean natin. And to solve for the mean, we have to multiply the x and then the p of x. So we have x p of x. So remember yung sum nito, xp of x will be the mean of the given data. So 1 multiplied by 0.15 is equal to 0.15. 2 multiplied by 0.25 is equal to 0.50. 3 multiplied by 0.30 is equal to 0.90. 4 multiplied by 0.15 is equal to 0.60. 5 multiplied by 0.10 is equal to 0.50. And 6 multiplied by 0.05 is equal to 6 multiplied by 0.05 is equal to 0.05 0.30. So now, ipag-add natin lahat yan, that will be the mean. So ang mean natin or yung u natin is equal to 0.15 plus 0.5 plus 0.9 plus 0.6 plus 0.5 plus 0.3. So this is equal to 2.95. Therefore, yung mean natin is equal to 2.95. So this is the mean. Next is, so remember sa formula natin for the variance, we are going to subtract yung x natin with the mean. So we have x minus mu. So for this box, ano yung x natin dito? Yung katapat niya is 1 minus, the mean is equal to 2.95. So isubtract natin yan. 1 minus 2.95 is equal to negative 1.95. Kahit hindi nyo na ipakita itong solution na to, okay lang. So this is negative 1.95 and 2 minus 2.95 is equal to negative 0.95. 3 minus 2.95 is equal to 0.05, and then we have 1.05, 2.05, and 3.05. So let's check. So tama siya. So next is, on the formula, ang next na gagawin natin is to square itong x minus mu natin. So we have x minus mu squared. So we are going to square this column, and then ilalagay natin dito. So for that is negative 1.95 squared. Negative 1.95 squared is equal to 3.8025. And then negative 0.95 squared is equal to 0.9025. 0.05 squared is equal to 0.0025. 1.05 squared is equal to 1.1025. 2.05 squared is equal to 4.2025, and lastly we have 3.05 squared is equal to 9.3025. So lastly, sa formula din natin, after natin makuha itong x minus mu squared, so we are going to multiply this with the probability. So for this column is x minus mu squared multiplied by p of x. So for this 3.8025 multiplied by 0.15. So this is equal to, so 4 decimal places na lang ilagay natin dito para mas ma-click. Kasi yung iba is iba-iba eh. Meron yung time na 7, yung iba 6. So para pare-pareho is mag 4 decimal places tayo. And then of course, you have to round it off kapag kailangan. 0.5704. So next is 0.9025 multiplied by 0.25. 0.25. Okay. 0.9025 multiplied by 0.25 is equal to 0.2256. Next is 0.0025 multiplied by 0.3. is equal to 0.0008, and then 1.1025 multiplied by 0.15. This is equal to 0.1654. And the next is 4.2025 multiplied by 0.1 is equal to 0.4203, and 9.3025 multiplied by 0.05 is equal to 0.4651. So, to solve for the variance, remember that the formula is the summation of x minus mu squared multiplied by p of x. So, ito yung formula natin to solve for the variance. Ito yung formula to solve for the variance. So, simply, once we already have this column, ang gagawin na lang natin is to get their sum. Pag sinabi natin sum, again, that is to add these values. So, we have 0.5704 plus 0.2256 plus 0.0008 plus 0.1654 plus 0.4203 plus 0.4651. And then this is equal to 1.8476. Therefore, the variance is equal to 1.8476. 1.8476. And to solve for the standard deviation, kukuhanin nyo lang yung square root ng variance. So the square root of the variance is equal to 1.3593. Therefore, ang standard deviation natin ay 1.3593. 1.3593. So, how are we going to interpret this value? So, ang na-solve natin is that the standard deviation is equal to 1.3593. So, remember that sa standard deviation, once na ang nakuha nating standard deviation is malaki, then that means that yung mga value natin for dx is magkakalayo. Kumbaga, siguro ang lalabas dyan, kapag malaki yung value kapag malaki yung value, maraming 1, iisa lang yung 2, walang 3, walang 4, maraming 6. Hiwa-hiwalay, scattered yung data natin. Pero, since maliit lang yung value ng standard deviation natin, then we can say is that, we can conclude that the data collected are, dikit-dikit lang. Hindi siya yung sobrang hiwa-hiwalay. So that's it for the interpretation. So, since for this example, parang masyado lang mahaba, I'll be having another video on applying this situationally. So, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, if you have questions, mag-comment kayo para yun yung gagawin ko ng video sa susunod. And of course, hit the notification bell. That's it for today. So, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something today. Bye!